Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are starting the build of the 727 Whisper Jet from Atlantis. This is a repop kit that Atlantis has done. I actually built one of these when I was a kid, and I believe it was a monogram kit at the time. It wasn't Atlantis, but that's okay. It's basically the same kit. So today we're going to start building this one, and when I was a kid I built the TWA version, which is what I'm going to build this one as, the TWA version of the 727 Whisper Jet. So this should be a fun kit and a walk down memory lane for me. I'm going to grab some paint and some glue and get building. When I test fitted the two halves of the fuselage together, they don't line up very well on the main hull. The rear wing does line up perfect, but I will have to address where the two hull halves go together. I'm making these marks to signify where the alignment tabs are going to go. I'm making the alignment tabs out of plain sheet styrene. These will add strength to the fuselage and help align everything the way it needs to be. You don't really have to be precise here. The tabs just need to be big enough to meet the two seams together and not get in the way of anything else. Don't be stingy with your glue here. These tabs need to be attached very well so they can be very strong. I typically let these dry overnight. There's enough material here to easily sand down the seam lines without using putty. While I'm sanding the seam line, I use the masking tape to protect the panel lines that are already in the plastic. I'm building this one with the gear in the up position, so I'm filling in the seam lines and touching up around the landing gear hatch. Because there's no cockpit detail on this kit, I decided I'm just going to black out the windows. The window fit on this kit is really bad. It took a lot of work to get it filled in and patched up. The detail on the wings aren't bad. With a little work, you can really add some good detail. Because the panel lines on this kit aren't very prevalent, I'm highlighting them by pre-shading with flat black paint. When I add the top coat of white, this will bring out more detail and make it look a little more realistic. Here, I'm using black panel line accent color to bring out more detail in the wings. I'm cleaning up the excess panel line detail with a cotton swab and some thinner. I like to always go in the direction of airflow. I feel this gives it a better look. And remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep going until it looks like you want it to look. I'm using just a plain paper napkin to kind of polish out the metallic paint here. Here I'm using my airbrush with very low pressure and thin black paint to add a little more extra detail. I'm using a post-it note as a barrier to give me a line. Okay, and here we have the completed 727 Whisper Jet from Atlantis Models. From early on in this kit, I realized, well, there's not a lot of detail. It's a very basic kit. It's a repop of the originals. And on this one, they didn't engineer any changes. It's just the same old kit. Too bad, but I believe if I was reading some information on their website, it looks like they have another version of this. Doesn't come in the TWA scheme, I don't think, but it claims to have more details. I'm not sure what the more details means. If any of you know, let me know in the comments what that means. If they do have a re-engineered kit with some improvements, I'd love to get one and try to build that one as well. However, this one, like I said, was a trip down memory lane, building these as a kid. It was just fun and I was looking forward to doing it. This jet actually took me quite a while to get done. I started it months ago. You can actually see from the intro video, I didn't have this cut sheet down. I had my old green one. That's how long it's been. But it's done now, and I'm glad and I'm happy how it came out. The kit itself does not have a lot of details on it, so very faint panel lines and hardly nothing. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to kind of paint this based on some reference pictures that I got off the internet of these old TWAs from the era, so probably the 1970s. And back then, jets that were used constantly, they weren't always clean and pristine like you see a lot of them today. So I decided to weather this one up. And in doing so, I just decided to experiment with some other painting techniques, some airbrush techniques. Like for instance, on the fuselage, there are panel lines here, but they're so faint. So what I did was I took my airbrush with very low pressure and a very thin mixture, and then I used a Post-it. What I would do is I would just set the Post-it along that very faint panel line and then just spray in this direction with the Post-it as a block, and it gave me virtual panel lines, if you will. And I did that throughout the whole kit, underneath and everything. And then for the overall paint scheme, it's TWA white with the shiny aluminum. So the shiny aluminum is the Vallejo metal aluminum acrylic paint. The top coat is Tamiya gloss white. And as you can see in the video, first I primed everything and I pre-shaded everything, and then I did the white in sections so it wasn't just all white, and then I went back and highlighted all these lines. Dirtied up the engine area and the tail area a little bit, because on all the pictures of these, they're all very dirty. Different levels of grime and such. One thing I paid a lot of attention to was the detail on the wings. There is some detail in here, so I utilized those and did some weathering and different textures and colors. Even like these dashed lines here, these aren't decals. I actually painted those, and that was the first time for me trying to do something like that. And the first one came out great. Second one bled, so because it's acrylic and I'd already sealed it, I just wiped it off, retaped it, and did it again. The second one came out great. So I'm really happy with these. I believe these hashes are where you can walk on the wing in this area, but not past this. So I really wanted to add that, and I'm happy how it came out. So overall, it did what it was supposed to. It took me down memory lane, and I enjoyed building and painting the kit. Pros and cons, the kit, like I said, it's a basic kit. There's not a lot of parts. It's very simple. There are some challenges that I would say cons. The way the windshield is designed, you can't put the fuselage together and then put the windshield in, because if you try, it will just fall inside, because there's no positive holdings on the inside of the fuselage to catch, like a little shelf to catch the windshield unit to sit on. So my solution was I marked and measured everything out, and then I just glued the entire windshield section to half of the fuselage. And then once that was set, when I glued the two halves together, I added glue around the windshield that was already in there so it would glue in as well. And then I had to go through and do some touch-up and putty work to kind of make it all match. And because there's no detail, there's no cockpit or anything, I just did the windshield in gloss black. Well, first I painted it silver, and then I masked off these lines here for the braces on the windshield. This one here I did white. And then I oversprayed with the black, took the tape off, and then I've got my nice little lines and everything. And then finally a gloss black coating over that. Kind of a flat over the nose area here, and the rest is kind of a semi-gloss. The decals were actually very well done. I think the red is a little more orange than I would like. It should be a little more red, and I don't know if they had to do that color change due to licensing with TWA, I don't know, but they were a little off-colored and bright, so I dulled them down with weathering. Also, this one decal here is one long decal. So what I did was I cut it in half. On this one I cut right at the door so I could set this side, line it up, and then do this one as a separate decal and line it up to this one. And that worked out pretty good. The other decals were great. They went on great, no problem. This side, same thing. I cut them right here. Actually about here I cut it, so I had half here and half there. And then the decals for the nose numbers also came out really good. So overall, very nice kit. I realized I was talking about pros and cons and I got off on a tangent, so sorry about that. As far as pros, if you just want to build a simple airplane and do some cool weathering or something else, it's a great kit for that. And the kit was very inexpensive. I don't remember how much this one cost, but I think I got it for like under 20 bucks, so I was happy with that. Also, this base is a base off another kit that I have. This one didn't come with a stand, and because I built it gear up, it has a place for a stand. I didn't fill it in because I thought, well, I might put it on a stand, but I'm actually going to hang this one from the ceiling when I'm done. But for just the video and pictures, I put it on this stand. Okay, so who should build this kit? Well, this kit could be for a medium to advanced modeler. Again, the challenges are going to be getting the windows in right and getting them set right. And then the painting is, you know, you paint it how you want. You could throw this kit together, put the decals on, and it'll look fine. It does lend itself to some very creative weathering, as I've shown here. So that's going to conclude this video on the TWA 727, the Whisperjet from Atlantis Models. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please add comments below. Love to hear from you guys. Love to read your comments and reply to them. So until next time, everyone, be safe out there and go build something. And on this one, there were no if it is a better kit or a little bit re-engineered, I'd love to get another one of those, and or love to get I'd love to get one of those. Let me try that again. Whoops. Okay. And until next time, just be safe. Well, let me try that again.